Alright people, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification. That way you'll know when I upload the next video and you'll be supporting my channel. Follow me on Twitter. Every time I upload a new video, I'll be tweeting. Horus and Chess, and this is Realm of Ultramar. Warhammer 40,000 by the channel The Temple Institute. The Realm of Ultramar is the most famous and powerful of the Imperium's border territories. It is also the home of Ultramarines, the Smurfs, apparently. One of the most legendary Space Marine chapters. Yeah, Papa Smurf. So, this is, I guess, Ultramarines, when they were created some kind of controversy. So, I guess this is also a controversial thing. Realm of Ultramar. I don't know, somebody just told me that I should react to, Ultramarines home and told me about this. Like, what the fuck? I'm fascinated with Ultramarines because how lots of people didn't like their presence in the lore to begin with, right? So I really want to see where the controversy is, basically. Why is it? I mean, I get it. Ultramarines are supposed to be the best of the best of the best, which kind of makes it weird, right? If you just point blank make them literally the best of everything. Yeah, that's what it. Remember, if you like my reaction, don't forget to subscribe, check out the Sunday, there's a link in the description, check out the cards, or place the cards, and yeah, that's what it. Okay, come on.
The Imperium of Man is a dominion of colossal size, spanning the galaxy and uniting 1,000,000 worlds and 1,000,000,000,000 souls. To rule over such an empire directly is impossible, even for the labyrinthine organizations that serve the imperial bureaucracy. Instead, the Imperium entrusts planetary governors, warlords, Castellians, and even rogue traders to rule over worlds and territories in the Emperor's name. These fiefdoms range from simple outposts on the fringes of human territory to entire subsectors, almost rivaling the power of Holy Terra itself.
Ooh, how many of them are there, like Terra? Worlds like Terra and, literally similar to Terra, basically, that governs themselves. Because to me, that kind of creates this kind of a thing that in future, I don't know, certain power worlds like that who governs themselves could create an alliance and try to, I don't know, secede from the Imperium, let's just say, or something like that. Because Imperium, like she said, lets lots of other worlds govern themselves. I mean, that makes sense, knowing in our world how there are many, I guess, emperor and people in power who basically screwed themselves over, especially, the Holy Roman Empire in the, basically, how in that one king tried to rule everybody but can't, and there are lots of examples, basically. One person tried to rule all the territory and it's not feasible in that sense. So in this Warhammer 40k Imperium of Man, Holy Terra doesn't, obviously the Holy Terra is ruling everybody, but they're not governing everyone. They let everybody else govern themselves. I mean, that makes it easier. So, it would be surprising to see that, in future there is some kind of a seceding act or something like that.
Yet even since the days of the Great Crusade, perhaps no single realm has done more to contribute to the power of the Imperium or win more glory in the name of the Emperor than that of Ultramar. Located on the southern reaches of the Eastern Fringe, the Realm of Ultramar has historically consisted of roughly 500 worlds. This number fluctuated across the eras before being reduced to just under a dozen in the aftermath of the Horus Heresy. Despite this, the region has always been one of the wealthiest and most powerful in the Imperium, and its worlds maintain a level of economic and technological sophistication almost unheard of within the greater galaxy. Even on its most industrialized planets, Imperial manufacturing centers operate without the toxic wastelands endemic elsewhere in the Imperium. Rarer still, the Imperial populace has managed to exist in balance with nature, allowing for widespread farming and oceans that still teem with fish. At its center lies the capital world of Macragge, considered bleak and rocky by many, yet home to formidable and majestic mountain ranges, broken only by the more hospitable lowlands where much of the population resides. Citizens of Ultramar live within a highly martial society, in which service to the Imperium is regarded as the highest calling.
That makes sense.
This is in large part due to their subservience to the Ultramarines' Adeptus Astartes chapter, which draws recruits from Macragge and the surrounding subsector. It is a point of pride, especially amongst the older aristocratic families, to have provided a recruit, and communities proudly display statues and idols of the Space Marines who were born there.
Obviously, Astartes chapter is from this, and it's just part of this whole world. But to me, the question rises that, does this world revolve around the Astartes chapter? Like Astartes chapter came to be, they were part of this world, and the world grew around them. Obviously, them being really important to the Imperium. But it's just, because the world was so great, the Astartes chapter, apparently either was, placed there or, started there or something like that.
While this method of recruitment is commonplace across the various Space Marine chapters, few recruit from such a wide variety of worlds, and fewer still are as directly involved in the administration and governance of their territories as the Ultramarines. The realm of Ultramar is governed by a largely feudal system very much akin to that of the rest of the Imperium. All within its borders are subjects of the Emperor, but it is the chapter master of the Ultramarines who holds absolute authority and bestowed the additional title of Lord Macragge. Across the millennia, regions of
Ultramarines literally governs the place, in this case, I guess.
Ultramar have also been appointed, as well as tetrarchs who served as regional governors and ruled over dozens of star systems. The corruption and ineffectual rule that continues to plague the Imperium has seemingly never taken root in Ultramar, and great effort is made to safeguard the prosperity of its citizenry, so long as military requirements are met. The subsector is even exempt from paying the Imperial tithe. Instead, it contributes directly to the Ultramarines chapter. The Ultramarines are the most prestigious and well-known military force to operate out of Ultramar, but each world also maintains its own planetary defense force, and the realm as a whole maintains several other branches of service. The Ultramar Auxilia consists of several hundred regiments, often conscripted into the Imperial Guard when required. In space, Ultramar operates a sizable defense fleet, with 6 enormous fortresses presiding over strategic positions and valuable shipping lanes.
So the Ultramar's Imperial Guard, are they too exceptional in being an Imperial Guard compared to the other world? Or is just the Ultramarines are only the one who's like that? Because if that's the case, then the whole world basically breeds, more powerful soldiers.
Each is a powerful bastion in its own right, with enough firepower to destroy a small moon. Several paramilitary organizations also exist, including the intelligence service Vigil Operati and the law enforcement agency known as the Praesental Guard. The level of autonomy afforded to the realm of Ultramar has, at times, brought it into conflict with the greater Imperium, with many viewing the subsector with envious eyes. The existence of
what? Did she just said what I thought
agency
before,
known as the Praesental Guard. The level of autonomy afforded to the realm of Ultramar has, at times, brought it into conflict with the greater Imperium, with many viewing the subsector with envious eyes.
Okay, so the people have fought because this realm of the world of Ultramar has certain autonomy that others don't. So that's why certain people got jealous and revolted in a sense that why don't we have this kind of autonomy? Is that it?
The existence of such a powerful empire within the Imperium has even been called heretical, yet for many, the realm of Ultramar is the last remnant of the true Imperium, before it fell into corruption and decay. The history of the realm of Ultramar is closely linked to that of Roboute Guilliman, who reclaimed the region from the horrors of the Age of Strife and turned the subsector into the jewel of the Imperium's border territories. One of 20 genetically engineered superhumans known as the Primarchs, Roboute and his brothers were created by the Emperor of Mankind and intended to lead his armies in a great crusade to reunite the scattered human race. Yet before this plan could come to fruition, the Primarchs were scattered across the galaxy by the ruinous powers of chaos. Roboute arrived on Macragge, center of a dying star empire which, despite the ravages of the Long Night, had still managed to preserve much of its technology and even maintained contact with a few other worlds with a small fleet of short-range starships. By the time the Emperor reunited with his son on Macragge, Roboute Guilliman had unified the planet under his brilliant leadership and restored its productivity and prosperity. Swearing fealty to the Emperor, Ultramar's enormous industrial strength was put to work, delivering untold numbers of soldiers and munitions to serve in the Great Crusade. The Horus Heresy was as devastating to Ultramar as to the rest of the Imperium, and the traitor legions relentlessly attacked the worlds of the subsector to tie down Guilliman and his Space Marine Legion and prevent them from reinforcing the battered defenders on Holy Terra. On the Agra world of Calth alone, the Ultramarines lost nearly half their legion, and while the Loyalist forces would eventually emerge victorious, their tremendous losses prevented them from pursuing the war beyond the confines of Ultramar. In this most
makes sense. I mean, chaos corrupted, Space Marines were trying to, basically take over Holy Terra. They had to attack Ultramar first, knowing Ultramarines being their best of the best, they would cause the biggest issue. So obviously, in their plan, Ultramar would also be the place where they attacked with the, biggest force.
desperate hour, with the fate of Terra and the greater Imperium still unknown, a contingency plan was put into action, briefly transforming the realm of Ultramar into the Imperium Secundus before contact with Terra was re-established and the traitors were defeated. In the aftermath of the conflict, as the Imperium struggled to repair the damage Horus had wrought and trillions mourned the entombment of their emperor, Guilliman and his legion worked tirelessly to bind the Imperium back together. Ultramar alone was able to supply new recruits at such a rate that within just a few short years, nearly half the Space Marines in the galaxy had come from Macragge or other nearby worlds. Yet Guilliman was all too aware of the potential for another civil war, and despite the great power of Ultramar, the decision was made to splinter the realm. Ultramar was reduced to but a smattering of planetary systems.
See, hearing all this, like how Guilliman and Ultramarines were so crucial after the Horus Heresy. In that, text-to-speech device episode where the Empress is like, kill him, kill the Guilliman, kill the Ultramarines. I don't know. Understand as people hated their inclusion into this lore thing. But inside the lore, it kind of feels weird, Emperor saying that. Obviously, that's not, canon, right? But it still feel weird, like, even with the, jokes and stuff. I like that quote, like, get your science right then, I guess, change it or, I don't know what the quote is, but change it as you leisure or whatever that is. So that's what I'm thinking, like, Emperor would love Guilliman and an Ultramarine, right? I mean, it's different thing that people hate the inclusion of Ultramarines into the lore. That's a different thing. But inside the lore, Emperor would definitely love his Ultramarines since how much they were crucial. So in the text-to-speech, basically Emperor saying, kill the Guilliman feels weird, man.
And the position of Tetrarch was abolished. In time, Guilliman too would pass into legend, poisoned by a demonic blade and, like the Emperor before him, entombed within a stasis field. Even without their Primarch, Ultramar endured. During the War of the Beast, its forces contributed to the destruction of the largest Orc Wa in recorded history, and millennia later, Macragge itself would become a battlefield during the First Tyrannic War.
Oh,
This latter
Orc Wag. Only Wag is only when, all the clan members basically choose one fearless leader and then it becomes a Wag. So it's a very, very deadly thing when it comes to orcs, right?
Conflict would be one of the most devastating in Ultramar's history, with even Guilliman's shrine at the enormous polar fortress on Macragge nearly overrun by horrific Tyrannid bio-warriors. Ultramar's greatest test would arrive during Abaddon the Despoiler's 13th Black Crusade. With the destruction of the Cadian Gate and the galaxy torn asunder by the Great Rift, every hope seemed lost, and Macragge was once more a battlefield, as traitor Space Marines of the Black Legion pursued the fleeing Imperial remnants of Cadia to the planet's surface. What they found there, however, would change the fate of the galaxy. Roboute Guilliman had been reborn, his wounds healed, and together with his Ultramarines, they threw back the Chaos host and embarked on a campaign to reorganize and rearm the Imperium for the greatest and possibly final conflict. As Guilliman departed for Holy Terra to seek the guidance of his father and break through to the scattered Imperial worlds on the far side of the Great Rift, he declared the 500 worlds of Ultramar restored, expanding the power of the realm to its greatest extent since the Horus Heresy. Today, Chapter Master Marnius Calgar acts as Lord Defender of Greater Ultramar in Guilliman's absence, with some of the greatest heroes of the realm serving in the revived role of Tetrarch. They are engaged in an immense undertaking to restore the power of their newly expanded dominion, raise great new armies and fleets, marshal their forces to aid in Roboute Guilliman's struggle against the forces of chaos, and bring the holy light of the Emperor to a galaxy fallen into darkness.
Ooh, really? That's heavy. That's it? Okay. So, after the Cadia, basically Cadia fell, clearly. Right? Cadia stands is a phrase people use, but Cadia clearly got destroyed, and that basically made sure that chaos is basically, running rampant. But then I remember people saying during the Cadia, episode that I reacted to that, there are things happening after that could give hope. So I guess they were referring to this, that Guilliman is basically reinforcing everything since biggest undertaking since the, I guess, Horus Heresy. He's undertaking, lots of people, space marines, lots of walls, strengthening walls against the, army of chaos or whatever. So at the current, let's just say, the latest events that is happening, that is where the latest events are. That is as far as the lore has come. Is that it? Beyond that, there is no lore known. That is where the lore is so far as we know. After Cadia, that is all happening. Ultramarines are basically reinforcing everything, reinforcing, Imperium, trying to fight chaos after the Cadia thing. Man, I love this Warhammer 40,000. And Temple Institute is just great. In 10 minutes, it just explained the Realm of Ultramar, and there was so much great information. I love Temple Institute because there is no other Warhammer channel that can explain something in such a short time, such a great way, like the Temple Institute. So yeah. Right, people, that was Realm of Ultramar by the channel of the Temple Institute. If you like my reaction, don't forget to like, subscribe, check out the next handy, there's a link in the description. Check out the cards for place, the cards, and yeah. Check out my Twitter account. If you don't get notification to my videos, always check the Twitter account. I'll be posting there every time I upload a new video. Yeah, I'll see you next time.